Gus Greensmith, who got off to a brilliant start this season in Rally Monte Carlo. We saw a win there for you, Gus. We turn to another legendary event on the championship calendar now, which is, of course, Argentina. Do you have the same kind of confidence, the same kind of feeling coming into this one as you did at the start of the year?
Yeah, the confidence is still the same. It hasn't really changed. Like, okay, Sweden wasn't as good as we wanted it to be, but the testing here went very well. The speed was very good. So the confidence is high. I just need to put it together and do the same job.
It's going to be a difficult weekend, isn't it? It always is here in Argentina. It's a very demanding rally, but add to that the difficult weather conditions that we're seeing right now, which can catch any driver out, and of course, limited experience here for yourself. How are you going to deal with that this weekend? Is there a strategy in place?
Not really.
No? Just
No.
go for it.
Yeah, just going to drive as fast as I can, and obviously there's places where it's going to be really rough and you might need to just think and observe the road a bit more, but generally it's going to be the same. Just going to be pushing as hard as I can. The feeling in shakedown on the first two passes wasn't good because of kind of a setup mistake that was my side, and then once we changed it, everything was fine again. So the feeling's good now, so yeah, I'll just push as hard as I can.
So what was wrong with the setup? In which direction did you change it?
It looked a lot slippier than it actually was. So the car was set up for slippier conditions, which didn't suit what it was. So once we changed the setup to what it should have been, it was fine. But by that point, the road was destroyed, so the time wasn't as good as it could have been.
Okay, Gus, thank you very much. Marco, let's turn to you now. We saw a great performance from you on gravel in Rally Mexico just a few weekends ago, really, it feels like. Anyway, you were battling against Benito Guerra there, and you were exceptionally strong. Can you bring that kind of performance here to Argentina, or do you feel that you don't have enough experience yet?
Yes, in Mexico we had a great battle and very tight with Benito. That made a good rally for us and also for Benito too. And for Argentina, we expect to have a good rally, but the weather conditions are very changing. So we think that it will be a very hard rally, but it's better to don't think about it.
Yeah, don't think about it, just drive. Talk to me a little bit more about the conditions out on the stages, though. Obviously, yesterday it rained on the stages you were wrecking then. How much more difficult was it in comparison, let's say, to last year when you competed?
No, last year the floor was very dry. The stages of Friday on Tuesday were very dry, and now I think that had a lot of water, so it will be very hard, and we will try to push a little, not too much because we have to protect the car and all that thing. So let's try to do a good rally.
Marco, you're still so young. Is it just 18, yes? 18 years
Yes,
of age, yeah?
yes.
What is the objective for you this year? Because, as I mentioned, Mexico, you were fighting for the win in Mexico. What are you hoping for across this season?
Demonstrate that I can be fast.
Oh, I think you've done that already. Good luck this weekend, Marco. Thank you. Mr. Heller, let's turn to you now. See if I can see you. There you are back there. You've had a busy start to the year. We've seen you compete in Wales, you've been in Portugal, as well as what you've been doing in WRC2, and you've recently won a rally at home in Chile as well. So you must be more than ready to go and confident for this one, yes?
Yes, for sure. It was a nice rally. We win in our home, actually. It's a town named Los Angeles. And now we're in Argentina. It's different. It's my third time here. Last year we did a podium, and I think was a really nice race. This year, same stages, but different condition. It's muddy, it's a lot of rain. But the drivers and crew, we need to be prepared for this, and we hope to do a really nice rally this weekend.
As you mentioned, conditions are completely different. It was very, very dry, very hot last year. Does it change the way you approach the rally, the conditions this year? Will you be a little bit more cautious, or will you just go for it?
No, we will try. We will try to do our best. Obviously, it's different, but it's different for all the drivers. So it's not just for us. If you prepare good pace notes, maybe you can be able to do very good things, you know. But like I said, it's for all is the same.
So what kind of preparation have you been doing? Other than watching videos and everything, what else have you been doing to get yourself ready?
For me, it's a big change because I changed co-driver. Now it's Mark Marty in my side. He's a very experienced guy and he's teaching me a lot. I think in rally, in my short career, I would say the most important thing are the pace notes. And I think doing the autocritic, I think I was failing on that. So I talked with him and I asked him for help. So we are trying to do the best in pace notes, you know. I changed the system, I changed the way to do the notes, and now I'm a little bit more committed and I'm driving a little bit better. But obviously with an experienced guy on my side, it's a little bit easier, I would say, to be committed with the rally and with the car.
Okay, Pedro, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Kaito, let's turn to you now. Welcome to Argentina. Welcome back to WRC2. Tell me how the experience has been so far for you here in this amazing country.
Yeah, hello. This is my debut here, first time, big challenge. We did 2 days Ricky, and today 1 loop on shakedown. What I know, just for check the car. Yes, but everything is working very well, also the team. But to be honest, I'm a little bit disappointed because I still have never seen the stage number 16 because of heavy fog, air contour. It's a strange feeling because it looks like a white wall in front of your car, 20 meters you can see, and just it. But I hope to see this stage on Sunday.
Well, fingers crossed the weather is going to be better then.
Yeah.
What was the feeling?
Well, I think it's not possible to do good pace notes, so I think it doesn't matter, yes, for me now.
Talk to me about the feeling in the car this morning at Shakedown. What did it feel like out there? Because it's been pretty wet, obviously.
Yeah.
What did the stage surface feel like, and are you happy with the setup?
Yeah, this is my first time also on gravel with this car. Polo is great. Stages are very demanding, of course. Many rocks, bad rocks. This is very demanding rally, even if it's dry, but if it's wet, it's completely difficult. Muddy, weather is changing, grip is changing every corner. This is very difficult for me because this is my first time. Every corner is new, so I'm waiting for this rally.
So Kaito, what is the strategy then, considering you have no experience here? As you mentioned, it's your first time here. Is there going to be that element of caution? Will you start and build your pace as you go?
Yeah, this is a good plan. Yeah, if you want to fight, I think you can't push in, if you want to win, of course, If you want to fight for the win, you can't push in 100%. This is my opinion, okay? I have no experience here, but as I said, seen Ricky, this is true, it's right. It's not 99%, it's 80%. And this is my strategy. Okay, if you are driving in 80%, you can't be sure to finish this rally, also. But this is Rally Argentina, and I'm really, really happy to be here.
Well, we're glad to have you here. We're glad to have you all here, guys. We wish you the best of luck this weekend. Are there any questions for our drivers? Yes?
Para Marcos y para Pedro. Obviamente que estar en la Argentina potenciará de alguna manera las posibilidades de ustedes. Quería saber cuán posible ven la chance de victoria en la categoría este fin de semana.
Pedro, do you want to start with that?
Ok. Español, ¿verdad? Sí. Sí, bueno, creo que las chances están. En mi caso, es mi tercer año que puedo venir acá a Argentina. como decía también aquí mi compañero de categoría, es un rally que hay que pensarlo con mucha estrategia. Creo que ir a pleno al 100% quizás no es el camino correcto, menos con las condiciones que estamos teniendo ahora, donde ha llovido mucho. Por suerte es un rally que se repite respecto a lo que fue el año pasado, pero en una condición distinta. Yo creo que las chances están, pero hay que ser muy cuidadoso también, no por eso ir lento, pero ir ojalá lo más eficiente posible, cuidando el auto, cuidando la estrategia y tratar de llegar al final, es lo más importante. Yo creo que las chances están ahí. Hoy día el shakedown lo hicimos, creo, bastante bien, pero siempre hay por mejorar. Creo que tenemos que ser muy obedientes a las notas que hicimos durante estos días y también ser muy obedientes y estar tranquilo al momento de ir a ejecutar cuando las condiciones sean adversas.
Mark as well, yeah?
Sí, yo creo que tengo posibilidades. Al ser un rally muy difícil, peor con lo del clima ahora, que lo complicó bastante y cualquier estrategia pensada la ha cambiado. Sí, puede ser para cualquiera, es un rally. De por sí el rally Argentina siempre uno que viene lo espera bien difícil, los caminos bien duros. Ahora con el clima ya lo cambió, nos hemos preparado mucho. Hemos estado practicando mucho físicamente y viendo la hoja de ruta con los videos, así que esperamos que nos vaya muy bien.
Okay, guys, thank you very much and good luck for this weekend. To invite to the stage Thierry Neuville, our championship leader, who's representing Hyundai Shell Mobis World Rally Team. Elfyn Evans, who's representing M Sport Ford, Kris Meeke, who represents Toyota Gazoo Racing, and Esapekka Lappi, who represents Citroën Total.
Les pedimos a los periodistas, si por favor pueden hacer un poco de silencio mientras hacemos la conferencia. We asked to the journalists if we can do a little bit quiet during the conference, during the press conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Thierry, let's start with you. Welcome back to a rally which I'm sure has very fond memories for you as a previous winner of this event. You come into it as our championship leader after a great Rally Corsica for you. How is the feeling right now going into what I think is going to be maybe an even tougher Rally Argentina than normal?
Yeah, as we just said 10 minutes ago, a tough event is waiting for us. Conditions have changed quite a lot since the recce on Tuesday, especially for the stage of the first day. We really don't know what to expect. So it's going to be very, very challenging for us out there tomorrow, and I'm sure we're going to see plenty of surprises.
I'm sure we will. What was it like out on Shakedown this morning? How was that test with all the water that's been on it?
Obviously, Shakedown is like every year very rough, especially on the second and third pass. So you need to take care about your car if you still want to use it during the weekend. So we took it carefully, but we had a good feeling on the first pass, which is the most important for us, as the conditions was probably more similar to what we're going to see during the tomorrow's day, at least on the first pass. So yeah, feeling is good. We know our car has always been strong here in Argentina, and I have been the last 2 years also on the podium. We were first and the second place. So yeah, all is good. So we are looking forward.
All is good, but last year it was a completely dry event and we saw the dust trails coming out behind the car. We won't have that. Certainly on the first 2 days this year, I wouldn't have thought. Which means we're going into the unknown in a way. Previous results, do they matter so much when the conditions are so changed?
I mean, previous results actually never matter. You know, there are very few events where the same driver in the next year wins the event. Especially now, since a few years with the competition so close. That means that, we can't really rely on that. But what is sure is that Hyundai has always had a strong car in tough conditions and rough conditions. And that's important for us drivers also to know, okay, our car is competitive in these conditions. We might be able to play for something big.
Okay, Thierry, thank you. Let's turn to Elfyn Evans now then. We've seen you on very strong competitive form here in Argentina back in 2017 when the man next to you stole the win on the final stage. That was a thriller. Corsica for you was an incredible event. We really saw consistency of pace from you. I know the result wasn't what you expected. What do you come here with now, Elfyn? Do you come here carrying a bit of disappointment from Corsica, or is it more of a positive outlook?
No, Corsica is behind us, and in any case, it's a very different dynamic to what we're about to face this weekend. So, you know, we start from a clean sheet of paper again, just focused on doing the best job we can, really. So, yeah, Corsica is forgotten.
Which is a good thing. And we turn to this event then. And as I mentioned before, in 2017, we saw great pace from you. Last year, you were a little off the boil. Why was that?
Yeah, I think last year fell far below certainly our expectations, and we didn't have a great weekend at all. So we hope that we've made a few changes and learned a few things from last year that will help us improve for this year now. So far, the feeling in the car is better, let's say. So yeah, it's still an unknown rally. You know, it's going to be tough out there. You know, quite unpredictable, I think. But let's wait and see what happens. We'll give it a best shot.
Is Friday the toughest day, would you say, here? Because a lot of people look at Sunday because we have such classic stages there, but Mina Clavera is quite slow. El Condor's very different. Is Friday a decisive day, do you feel?
They're all quite decisive. I don't think you can rule out any of the days or any of the stages, in fact, here. For sure, it was already looking a little bit rough on some sections of the Friday stages, but obviously we've had the heavy rain since, so we don't know quite what we're going to face. It could end up being very rough tomorrow for sure. But then there's sections on Saturday as well, which we could see being very demanding. It's very narrow in places and very little margin for error. So you can't discount any of the stages here.
Your team boss, Rich Milliner, said this morning that he feels you've turned a corner in terms of performance. Would you say that's true?
Well, we're only 4 rallies into the season, so it's probably a bit early to judge yet. For sure, things have been going well in the last 3 events, and the feeling has been quite good, but you know, you can't take anything for granted. Like Thierry said, you know, form changes so quickly here in WRC, and it's ultra competitive, so we have to keep working as hard as we can and try to keep up the form and try to look actually for a few improvements. I think if we can take out a few, you know, let's say bad stages from the last 3 rallies, then our results would have been probably better again. So still plenty to work for.
Okay, Elfyn, thank you. As you mentioned, it is ultra competitive. Kris, let's turn to you now. We've seen you on great form, especially at this event. In the past, we've seen you win it. We've seen you be on the podium. It's an event, I'm sure, with lots of experience you get better and better at, but you came straight into this event and scored a good result. How tough is it in comparison to the other events we have on the calendar? How challenging, how demanding?
Yeah, it's always a challenge. Okay, when the rally's dry here, it's not so rough. It's still, you have some rough sections, it's a challenge, but certainly I think 2015, the year I managed to get my first victory here, it was there'd been really bad weather in the lead up to the event. The stages were in really bad condition, and yeah, that was quite a tough year. But yeah, like the weather there's been this week, it's a sort of a step into the unknown, because even the Friday stages, when we regulate them on Tuesday, the heavy rain arrived on Wednesday, so we really don't know what we're going to see tomorrow, whether much of the water's drained away or whether the stages are still going to be flooded. Or so yeah, it's always a challenge here, that's for sure. And you really find a difficulty to test in anything like this in Europe, you know. And shakedown's always a wake-up call, because here this road is not really a road as such. It's a track over some bedrock, so it's always incredibly rough there. But yeah, tomorrow's going to be an adventure for sure.
We chatted yesterday and you gave some great descriptions of the nature of the stage in terms of the mud out there. And you referenced some black mud, which sounded very much like blacktop to me on tarmac. But you mentioned when you get into that, it's really quite slippy, like ice, yes?
Yeah, you know, here you get, the stages are quite predominantly sand, which, okay, soft, but the grip's not so bad for sure. It gets rutted, but yeah, on Saturday stages, even on some of Friday stages, you have places where the colour changes, and you know for sure it's going to be slippy, where there's black mud there, and takes longer for that to dry out. So, yeah, Thierry will be first to check those places out and see what they're like.
He can report back, yeah, to you guys. Kris, is there ever a strategy going into an event like this, especially now with the weather changing and, as you said, into the unknown? Or do you have to, when the field is so competitive, do you have to be flat out constantly?
I think everyone goes in trying their best, you know. It just depends on the feeling during the weekend. For sure, you know, you'll know quickly after the first few stages, you know, whether you're in the correct rhythm or not, and then you can judge how your weekend's going to pan out or how you're going to play it. But for sure, we'll all be starting out to achieve the best result we can. And yeah, when the elements are against us like this, you know, it's you know, there's probably going to be big time gaps. But yeah, for sure, the race is on right from the beginning.
Okay, thank you very much, Kris. Esapekka, let's turn to you now. It was just your first time in Argentina last year, so you come back for a second crack at it in a different team, different car, of course. What is your expectation now coming into this event?
For sure, it will be very challenging as for everyone, and yeah, the weather makes it very, very difficult, I guess. And in the end, it's maybe good for me as I'm a bit unexperienced over here, and maybe the guys have not experienced such conditions also before, so maybe in some terms we are equal.
Talk to me about the season so far, because we see you switch obviously to Citroën this year. How would you describe 2019 from your seat at the moment? How do you feel it's gone for yourself?
Well, for sure it's not been the perfect start so far. I mean, one good result out of 4 races, it's not actually what I wanted, but yeah, we have had some, let's say bad luck as well, but also I've done some mistakes which are not so good. I mean, and the last race we struggled as a team a little bit, but it's anyway. I mean, many races to go. Nothing is over yet, and I'm ready to learn more.
So what kind of preparations have you been doing for this event to get yourself ready?
I was 2 weeks at home playing with the kids.
Good preparation then. You're fully relaxed now, yes? And you've had a lot of sleep? No sleep with kids. I haven't got kids, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's, let's say, limited sometimes. But you know, to be honest, everything was really fine. I mean, for sure I watched some onboards as well. Especially when the kids were sleeping during the day. But yeah, that's about it. I mean, quite normal stuff, watching onboards, some physical training, and then just relaxing your brain with the kids.
You know, the Citroën team itself has a fantastic results, or have had fantastic results here in Argentina. I think 10 wins in total they've racked up. So as a team, a huge volume of experience over the years. Does that give you confidence moving forward, all that information?
Oh, for sure, it gives a nice feeling in the end, but I don't know, can I see it or feel it on the stage, to be honest. I mean, I hope they could deliver the experience into my hands, but it's not actually how it works, so I need to learn by myself, unfortunately.
Okay, thank you very much, Esapekka. Are there any questions for our drivers? No, guys, good luck with the weather conditions tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Thank you.